Tonight on KGW News, smashed windshields and startled drivers, who authorities say was throwing rocks and at least one cinder block off overpasses and right onto the highway. Plus,
I think that this could have been all avoided very easily.
A shooting rattles a North Portland neighborhood, why at least one witness thinks it could have been prevented. And it's known as the Pit, but to people here, it's home.
Honestly, right here is peaceful, yeah.
As a daytime camping ban gets set to take effect, learn why outreach workers here are worried. Then later, it's Rip City remixed.
For families to be able to afford to come and watch professional players.
As the Blazers launch their G League team with fan-friendly prices. And we begin with new information in a Northeast Portland shooting that left one man critically injured. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Tonight we are learning more about the suspect who made his first court appearance to face attempted murder charges, along with some new insight from neighbors about the victim. Let's get right to Alma McCarty. Alma, you were out talking to people in that area about the gunfire. What did they tell you?
Well, David, a lot more questions than answers when it comes to the moments leading up to the suspect firing his gun Friday afternoon. However, business owners and neighbors in the Beaumont, Wilshire area say the victim in this case was allegedly the source of many issues around here for months.
Monday afternoon around Northeast Fremont and 49th Avenue, streets stayed quiet with customers few and far between.
A lot of businesses down the street are, been slow this last weekend. A lot of them haven't reopened.
This after a shooting Friday afternoon that left one man with life-threatening injuries.
Just like what happened?
Some, like Sarbagya Dango, could hardly believe the sudden sounds.
There was no noise whatsoever. Out of a sudden, we heard two big noise, bang, bang, no argument, nothing.
Anton Fuller witnessed the immediate aftermath in the parking lot.
I was having a quick break out back. I heard two gunshots in quick succession. I stood up and I saw a guy bleeding profusely.
He ran back inside his pizza shop to make sure everyone was safe, then saw a man with a gun out front.
When I saw that, I locked the door. I said, we are done, no more orders, everyone get down, let's get safe. As soon as we found out that the shooter was not a threat, we offered him water. He waited for authorities to arrive, was cooperative.
Court documents confirm what Fuller saw firsthand. The suspect separating himself from the scene and the gun waiting on a bench for officers. Portland police charged that man, 58-year-old Andrew McNulty, with attempted murder. Witnesses told officers the victim was walking directly towards McNulty, gesturing as if asking for something. The suspect displayed a gun, but the victim kept walking towards him. That's when he fired the shots.
He made no statements to the police at the scene.
McNulty appeared in court Monday afternoon. Here's how the prosecution characterized the case.
Your Honor, from a legal perspective, this would be likely the victim being the initial aggressor, but there not being sufficient justification for use of deadly force as opposed to physical force.
Neighbors say the victim had a history of harassment in the area for the past several months.
Unfortunately, the victim, has been a bit of a nuisance in the neighborhood. I think that what happened was an extreme retaliation to what could have easily been handled by the city with simple care, proper resources for mental health facilities. I don't know the reason of the shooting, if it was self-defense, but I think bear spray would have been plenty.
Detectives say the victim was shot in the chest and in the leg. PPP just updated us within the last couple of hours, confirming he remains in the hospital, conscious and recovering. As for the suspect, he was released from jail until his next court appearance. We'll be sure to update you as we learn more. David?
Thanks, Alma. I appreciate your reporting tonight. We also have an update this evening on another court appearance. A man police say caused a 5-vehicle crash. It killed one person and injured 5 others. This was last night near Northeast Gleason and 147th in Portland. It appears Nathaniel Franklin was trying to get away from authorities. Here is what we know. Franklin was allegedly driving a car Gresham police thought may have been involved in a string of armed robberies. When they tried to stop him, they say he sped off and ended up crashing into 4 other cars. Investigators say the Gresham officer was not near the suspect at the time.
I think it's fair to say that the officers were they're preparing to initiate a pursuit. This all happened very quickly, and it wasn't like the officers were actively chasing this car.
Well, police say both alcohol and speed were factors in this crash. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, in Northeast Portland, a leaking gas meter this afternoon fueled a fire that burned the front of a house. A neighbor recorded video of the intense flames on Northeast Church Street. Firefighters say once they turned off the gas, the fire died down and they were able to prevent serious damage to the home's interior. No one was hurt. A Southwest Washington prison is shutting down, citing declining incarceration rates. Large correction center is in a rural area in Northeast Clark County. The Department of Corrections announced today it will close this fall. The minimum security facility has the capacity to hold 240 inmates. 115 staff members work there. Officials say they'll be offered jobs in other facilities. The department says across Washington's 12 prisons right now, only 70% of beds are occupied. Multnomah County Sheriff's deputies have arrested 3 people they say were chucking rocks at cars. This vehicle here was even hit by a cinder block. Several drivers called 911 around 4 this morning saying their cars were hit in Fairview. Some were driving on 223rd, others on I-84. Police found 2 juveniles and 1 adult trying to run away when they showed up. They are now under arrest for reckless endangerment. No one was seriously hurt. And after the longest walkout in Oregon history, the 2023 legislative session has officially come to a close. Bills around abortion and guns were watered down as part of the deal that brought Republicans back. Some others that made it through include a bill to improve staffing levels in hospitals, one that criminalizes possession of fentanyl, and another that allows drivers the choice of pumping their own gas. The short session starts next February. Now the latest effort to reach more people struggling with homelessness in Portland. Right now, outreach workers are focused on a section of Old Town. It is a place known as the Pit. Blair Best has a progress report on a county-led program working to get people out.
This slice of land in Old Town is often ignored. Under the steel bridge, surrounded by train tracks and nestled behind city and state transportation headquarters, it's a refuge for homeless people like Tony Hunter.
Honestly, right here is peaceful, yeah. It's not too much drama down here.
Known as the Pit, this encampment is rarely swept by the city. One of the reasons outreach workers from transition projects are now targeting it.
What you're seeing right now is us delivering cell phones.
William Casting is the project manager for Housing Multnomah Now, a Multnomah County-led program aimed at getting 300 people off the streets in 12 months.
The goal is steep, but I do think it is achievable.
They helped Tony submit a housing application last week.
It's actually amazing. I'm still waiting, so she told me she'll come out tomorrow to talk to me and let me know.
All it takes is a few good people to help you, lift you up.
They also helped this man get off the streets this month. He lived in the Pit for years.
Yeah, I love Portland because they love me, that's why.
Good morning, outreach.
If they didn't really want to help you, or it was just like a thing that only for people from Portland, then I would have never been saved.
The meat and potatoes of this process is developing that relationship, identifying their barriers to housing, and then working through those barriers.
This outreach comes at a time when the city of Portland is cracking down on rules around homeless camping. Next week, a ban on daytime camping starts to go into effect. So the people living out here see this outreach as a saving grace.
It's perfect. It's right on time.
Though the outreach workers are bracing for the approaching ban.
Our concern with the daytime camping ban is that we will lose track of a lot of the individuals we've worked so hard to find.
They've outreached to 140 homeless people in the Pit. They're submitting housing applications for 14 of them.
It's so few because it takes a lot of people to actually house and work with individuals.
Do you guys have enough staff to realistically house 300 people in 12 months?
So it's important to remember that this is a pilot project.
Growing pains aside, it's a project that's changing the morale of the site by giving people hope, one tent at a time.
And if you uplift each other all the time, then I feel like we can bring back Portland the way it used to be.
Outreach will continue here in Old Town until June 30th, and they're still figuring out where they'll target next. In Northwest Portland, Blair Best, KGW News.
You heard it right there. Bring back Portland the way it used to be. We also got a first look today at the Rose City's first sanctioned safe park site that is meant for people who are homeless and living in vehicles. It's been in the works for years. It's going to have 55 spots off Northeast Sunderland, not far from the airport. But as we reported, its operator is the Salvation Army, though it has taken months to work out the details, including a contract with the county. This also will not be first come, first serve. Those moving in while they look to transition to more permanent housing will need to be referred by city outreach workers.
We fully anticipate that within a few months we're going to be full here. And yeah, there's huge need out there in the streets, but we know that we're going to be making a difference for one person at a time. And if we were to chat a year from now, I know that we would have individuals here who would just be so relieved that they were able to get away from the violence on the street and into a safe environment.
Well, officials say the site should be open in July. They'll begin by looking to move people currently camping in their vehicles off Northeast 33rd. It is one of 6 planned safe rest villages, but the only one that includes vehicles.